What's good? It is really cold out. So I'm taking a quick coffee break and I wanted to get this story out there. This happened the day before yesterday. And I have referenced previously how I helped pull a suicide jumper off a bridge. I've helped pull someone out of a flipped car. I've always been the type of person to go help when I see that there is a need. And so I think because that's part of who I am, that also contributes to my sadness and my depression, because when I look out into the world, I see so much help that is needed. But something we need to think about as we go out into the world wanting to make it better is compassion, fatigue. So getting exhausted from just caring so much. Because while, yes, there is so much need in our world today, we need to remember the balance. I'm so big. That's why this is my logo, because it preaches balance. If you lose yourself in your own health while trying to help other people, it becomes counterproductive. There is no net gain to society or to the planet, because you lose, and then the help you are able to give is only, a little bit. And so we need to be strategic in our help. And I still haven't got to the story. Let me get to this recent story. You can only help people who want to be helped, and they have to want to be able to help themselves too. So reaching down and giving someone a hand up, I've needed a hand up in my life many times, and I will need more. And so, but I'm willing to do the work. I'm busting my butt. This isn't about me, kind of, but let me get to the story. I'm sorry. I was packing up from a job with one of the guys I work with, and we heard this commotion up on the street. So there was a sloped driveway. We're down on the driveway and we hear commotion. And so I quickly go up there, and it's this woman yelling at a man saying, "Get out of my fucking car, get out of my car, brah, brah, brah." And she's yelling at him. And so I go up the driveway and I turn back to my friend and I say, "Hey man, will you start recording, please?" Because, all the good men who have faced prison as a result of helping. Kyle Rittenhouse is one example. Daniel Penny, I think. There's that whole thing. So men have been penalized for helping. So that's why I wanted him to record. And I go up to the street and I see in this car a woman yelling at a guy to get out of the car. He wasn't necessarily being aggressive, but he wasn't getting out of the car. He was talking back like, "You said you were going to take me somewhere, blah, blah, blah." She looked like she was on drugs. I didn't fully see him too much because I was on her side of the car. And so I approached the car and I say, "Ma'am, you need to get out of the car. You need to remove yourself from the situation. If this man is not going to get out of your car, turn your car off, grab your keys, grab any valuables, step away to the side here with us. We'll get the police here and we will get this addressed. You need to remove yourself from a harmful situation if you can." And after some coaxing, she did. She turned the car off and stepped away. But, the drugs and the trauma and everything, she was not ready for help at that moment, because she decided she was going to go right back to the car and right back to arguing with this guy. And I feel like this was almost a test from the universe for me, because maybe 10 years ago, when I was still just a douche, I'm still a douche a little bit, but I used to be a way bigger douche, and I'm proud of the progress that I've made in reducing my douchiness. 10 years ago, I might have just stuck with the situation. I might have not let it go. I might have, gone to the guy and tried to be like, "Yo, man, you need to leave." But when I realized that she was not willing to remove herself from a bad situation to accept help, I realized that it would do me more harm than good if I were to continue to escalate or try to help. Some people just do not want or are not ready to accept help. And we need to save ourselves from the compassion fatigue that I mentioned earlier. Because gosh dang, there is so much help that the world needs, but if you yourself are not in a good place, then you can't go help the world. That's the biggest thing. So it's like, if you want to change the world, start with yourself, right? You got to make yourself as healthy as possible. And in this age where food is poison, air is poison, water is poison, everything is poison, the media we consume is poison, psychological and spiritual poison, it's really hard. And I get it. And that's actually something I personally need to be doing better at. I need to take better care of myself. I've been making progress, but I still have to keep going. It is a never-ending journey. And so I just left. You know, my friend, he called the cops and whatever, but like they didn't show up. We just left because if you're not willing to help yourself, I'm not going to put myself at risk for you. And it sucks to say, but you know, I'm still going to initially respond to instances where help might be needed. But I'm thankful that I've learned the lesson, the foresight, the wisdom to know when to walk away. Because I don't think 10 years ago, you know, yeah. So I'm glad I learned that lesson, and I'm excited because this weekend they're doing one of the mobile outreach clinics that I love volunteering with at the Humane Society. And so they have a mobile vet, you know, it's a big like truck van thing, and then volunteers go and veterinarians give free like vaccines. They give free health checkups, some antibiotics if necessary, other services, even microchips. They do microchips. It's really, really awesome. They serve unhoused or low-income people who are struggling. And I love those events. They're draining. Like I was talking to Steven from the BG Cast. They simultaneously like fill you up and drain you. So it's like you have to go take what you can and then go process and decompress. And it ultimately ends up being a net positive, but there's a transmutation process that goes on, because it's go watch my last video, or not my last, a video I did a while back. What was it? The most humbling shoulder tap of my life. I may have posted that on my other channel. I don't know. Anyways, the moral of this story is we need to be doing more for our communities, but we also need to be doing more for ourselves. So remember, you can't help people unless they want to be helped. You can only meet people where they are at. Thank you very much for listening. Much love, everyone.